Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising. This is your tarot reading for the week ahead. And a great week it is too. You'll be pleased to know that of all the tarot readings that I've done thus far, you're probably only rivaled by Libra. Everybody else, it was a little more challenging, let's put it like that. I say a lot of this because you deserve a congratulatory pat on the back by the collective, as we have the Six of Wands, the Lord of Victory. I love this card because you can't quite tell if the protagonist is coming into the card or leaving the card. And that seems a really nice little point towards the end of the year and then the beginning of the year. So feeling this sense of accomplishment, achievement, just a well-deserved pat on the back. You may even find that spills over into kind of public affection. So that might be the workplace, it might be within your family, but others recognizing those achievements too. So somebody might in passing say, I've noticed you've done X, Y, Z. That's great. A lot of your efforts not being overlooked by others, it's feeling. And because of that, ending the year with a sense of joy and a sense of achievement and accomplishment, as I said before, and on the back of that, being able to move forward into 2025 with a genuine sense of excitement and, actually, there were things about this year that worked out really, really well. It's part of your duty and part of your task is to focus perhaps on that aspect. I feel like a bit of a stuck record this week because I've been saying to so many star signs here, really, it's about focusing on what has worked, not focusing on what hasn't worked. And for you, Cancer, I think the former of being able to focus on what has worked is going to come much more naturally and much more easy than for some. And because of that, feeling maybe excited for what 2025 might bring, its challenges. I know that we're not completely done with the year yet. There's still a little bit to go, but certainly at this crossing point of what's coming to a close and what potentially might be opening up ahead of us, particularly as we have the Fool card as well. New opportunities, exciting opportunities, and being able to meet those opportunities with a lightness of heart and an excitement and an open-handed generosity and receptivity. It's a really, really lovely place to see. So there's not much to regret this week. There's no point looking retrospectively with a sullied lens or through anything other than rose-tinted glasses, really, because that's very much where you should be focusing your attention. And this isn't about being a braggart, but it's about not just letting the year come to a close without just giving yourself a pat on the back, as I said right at the start. Also a time here to look at your spiritual practice, your spiritual guidance. Has that got a little bit sidelined, perhaps because of the demands towards the end of the year? Sometimes towards the end of the year, we're feeling as though we're pulling on our last resources, perhaps, or there are just lots of things to wrap up. And because of that, we don't tend to have a wealth of time or energetic reserves to then look perhaps more at our spiritual life and our spiritual requirements and our spiritual needs. So if that has happened, if you felt that it's slightly slipped away, and it's only slight, now is a really great time to be bringing that through. It also may be, and I don't mind sharing, I woke up one morning recently. I'm not religious by any means, but I woke up recently really feeling a yearn to go to church, and on perhaps a regular basis. I don't know why. But again, it's not because I kind of consider myself Christian. That was just like a spiritual yearning in a certain way, and thought, okay, let's go and explore that. And the more that you can embrace that kind of attitude, will be great, this kind of spiritual curiosity and this spiritual openness. And obviously for many of us, if you're watching in parts of the world, we'll celebrate Christmas as a kind of a Christian festivity. But it's worth looking at your faith system over this Christmas period. Look at what do you believe in, and also where are you getting your spiritual nourishment from? Particularly if you felt that you've been slightly pulled into worldly demands, be it work, be it family, whatever it might be. So just, you don't necessarily have to answer that question this week, but start thinking about, okay, if I've got a bit of a break over the festive period, how could I also make that a kind of either a spiritual or ritualistic sense as well? There was a reason that many people would go to church on Christmas Eve, etc. It was like that congregation, that sense of coming together, and that sense of religious exploration. And we don't have to adhere to any religious canon, and if you do, great. But just spiritually, it would be an important time to take pause and reflect, as much as it is kind of taking a relax for the mind and the body. So that's what, for me, the Hierophant is really speaking to and towards. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles here, very much around this time when she's appeared in other readings. I keep seeing her, I keep seeing this really as tinsel that is being placed around the fireplace and to decorate the home. But the Queen of Pentacles very much representing the home and luxuriating in the home, in a very kind of grounded energy, with her being the Queen of Pentacles, the earth sign, very rooted, very still, and this sense of sanctuary and this sense of kind of closing in. So it's very likely that home, and we know how much Cancer loves the home, being a homebody, but really luxuriating in the home and finding the home a very restful place. And it's like the nights close in, but it's almost a kind of comfort rather than an oppression. There's a feeling of that, and if that's perhaps not how you see it, then is that how you could see it? How is that an adjustment that you could make, as thinking, oh, actually, maybe this is about cozying down and snuggling down rather than feeling shut down, in a certain sense. And I say that because we close your spread with the Ace of Wands, which for me is about excitement and that real strike of the match, that ignition that we feel within us when we're looking forward to something. And it works so well cyclically with the Six of Wands that spoke about. You can literally see the protagonist is holding this one wand. So it's almost a close-up, a zoom-up of some of those energies, but particularly about what we're taking forward. So because of this very open and expansive energy of the Fool, this spiritual energy of the Hierophant, and this very grounded and rooted energy of the Queen of Pentacles, it's a really good time. This feels like a great launch pad in some ways for what's coming up next. So it's not that you have to doggedly figure out, okay, what am I doing next year at all, but it's what am I looking forward to next year? That's a really great question to ponder on and reflect on. What am I really looking forward to? And that can be just even an ambition or an ideal, or it could be something that you know is in the calendar that you're actually really excited by, or it's about putting something in the calendar that will excite you. But whatever that is going to ignite that flame of passion, ignite that flame of excitement, really. And kind of creative energy, for want of a better term. Yeah, so hence why I said out of all of the readings, yours is perhaps looking the most positive for the week ahead. So that's always nice to be able to say. And real reasons to luxuriate. You know, sometimes the danger or the message around a great week is to not rest on your laurels. But here, literally, you've got the laurel wreaths. So I think you can give yourself a very well-deserved break. Wonderful. So if you want a slightly more 360 reading and a deeper reading, one of the best things to do is go and check out your rising sign and your moon sign and your sun sign if you haven't done so. And if you don't know how to do that, no problem. We've got you. You can just read in the description and there is a link to do that for free. And once you have that, you can go and watch the other videos. But until next time, hope that helped and see you next week. Bye for now.